Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We're your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
All right, so as we count down for season 24, and we have season 25 imminently approaching.
Monday.
Is that the right word? Imminent? Yeah, imminent approach. Right? Yeah, sure. Okay, just making sure. Sometimes, you know what? I'll make some words up. I got to ask the teacher if I'm on track.
And so, listen, I'm used to kindergarten words, so sometimes I'm not much help.
Stephanie's like, can we have an adult conversation, please?
Please.
All right, but no. As we count down to season 25, we'd be remiss if we did not have our best of for season 24. So here we are at the playoffs. We're almost to the lives, and then when we get to the lives, we're gonna go in hyperdrive mode because we got to get this in. So, Stephanie, the playoffs. You know, I got to be honest with you, Stephanie. The playoffs for me, because coming off of my two favorite rounds, of course, being the battles and the knockouts, the playoffs for me, it wasn't that they were a letdown. It's just I didn't feel as hyped.
Right.
Until a few performances happened. Yeah. And we can talk about that when we get to them. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because I was just so excited because I love duet singing. I love battle singing. I love that type of format. But what you say?
Yeah, I feel like the performances were good. And there were some that were great and exceptional.
Oh, there were some that were the best of the season.
Absolutely. I think that coming off of battles and knockouts where we had a lot of wow performances, I think that there were just a lot of really good performances and some wows, and we will share the ones that we both thought were wows in our top 5. I'm really curious. Like, I would bet my mortgage that our number 1 is going to be the same.
I think our number 1 and 2s are going to be the same.
They might be, but
I'm pretty sure about that. But then 3, 4, 5.
I'm really interested.
There were so many playoffs. I have a feeling we're going to be all over the place. But I think of the 3, 4, and 5, maybe not in the same order. I think we will have at least one match of the 3, 4, and 5. I think our 2s and 1s are going to be the same, but 3, 4, 5, I'm sure we'll have one match.
I'm curious to see. I really am. It's
interesting now that I had a chance to reminisce or to go back. I think a lot of it also had to do with me song choice.
Oh, that's good.
The playoff round, some of the choices I personally didn't care for. Not that they weren't sung down, and they were. I mean, and they were, and our contestants weren't singing their faces off.
Yeah,
but some of the song choices, I was like,
James,
that isn't the song, right?
That is an excellent point. I think that's what I was feeling as well. Absolutely. I think that there were some, and you know, it might just be our personal preference, right? But for I think speaking for both of us, we might have felt that there were some song opportunities missed with some of the artists. And we know at this point that the artists are not in full control over what songs they are to perform from week to week. So
and that's no secret. I mean, the thing is I was thinking to myself, I was like, do they also have to be strategic and save their best for I'm going to do just enough,
right,
or just above just enough to get into the lives, because this was a huge cut to get from playoffs to lives was huge, because then we're back in real time when we get to last. Everything else had been taped in the months prior,
right?
So I you know, there's so much behind the scenes that we don't know. Even in talking to the contestants, we don't know what goes into the whole production of The Voice. But I am more than curious to get your top 5 list. So I can go ahead and start if you'd like.
Sure.
I got a very strong number 5. and again, I'm second guessing myself, but I can't second guess myself because it's all depending on, when I'm doing the list. But my number 5 is STEE, Shut Up and Dance, Walk to the Moon. I said, I had to put STEE in for this one because I believe this was STEE's last round. And I just thought it was a travesty that he did not make it to the lives.
Same.
I just was I think we both were beside ourselves.
Yeah.
Because number one, going back to this song, somebody put it best. And I saw a note in YouTube that said, people have no idea how difficult this song is to execute. Okay? How difficult it is to execute.
Right.
Number 1, stylistically. Number 2, rhythmically. Number 3, the command of the stage. Number 4, I could go on and on and on. And STEE was like, it wasn't just check. It was like check plus, plus, plus for every single requirement it took to execute this song at excellent level.
Yes.
I mean, it was it was a flawless vocal. It was a flawless performance.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh gosh, the words, the rhythm, the breath control, all of that it takes to hit this song cold. Yeah. And did he ever? It's interesting to come from doing the neo soul R&B in the previous round. Just reminded us how versatile STEE is.
That's right. He can sing anything.
We love you, friend of the show.
Yes.
Bruh, I just would love to pick your brain personally to see how you approach this song. Because it was, and the thing that was awesome, and the thing that I loved about STEE also, Stephanie, is that STEE's energy, it never waxed and waned, right?
That's right.
It was always here, but it was never like overzealous, right?
Right. No.
It was never like just no.
Right.
His energy was always high, whether it was the Pretty Wings, whether it was this, whether it was all the previous rounds,
right?
Whether it was singing in a language that is not his first language,
right?
With Red Heels and all of that, like it just, I'm just hurt that this man did not make it into the lives.
I know,
because we all know that STEE was one of the strongest performers.
That's right.
Not just vocalists, performers of the season. Like
that's right.
Like he and AďAN were just like they were like here, right?
Yes.
That's my number 5. I always gotta just like kind of like how The Voice would always have the first performer of the night and the last performer of the night. 2 of the strongest performers.
Yeah.
So STEE is my number 5. Shut Up and Dance. Stephanie.
That's an excellent pick. Go ahead, STEE.
All right. So what's your 5?
My number 5 is almost a surprise to me, but it's not. I love this song so much, and it's crazy that I love this song so much. So this speaks to the artist. My number 5 is Jordan Rayner, Boondocks.
Oh, listen. That was the one. That was the one, Jordan. That was the one that I was like, I can't believe she did not make my list.
That's why I feel no shame. Jordan, I'm proud of where I came from. I was born and raised in the Boondocks. I swear, I go around this house singing this song, and I was not born and raised in nobody's Boondocks. Okay, listen,
y'all.
Let me tell you, it is so wild that this is on my list because this is not the brand of country that usually catches my ear. It's just not. However, Jordan freaking Rayner sang this song down. Not only did she sing this song down, Mama comes in starting on the banjo. That already woke me up. And this song has a little
to it,
it's
right?
got, yes. And it almost feels like a church song. Like it reminds me, like there's something about this song that reminds me of church. I don't know what it was, but it's like, it's the processional. That's that coming down the aisle with the choir song. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was giving me. Yes, that's what it was giving me. That boom cat. This song is rangy. It is rangy. Like the chorus in and of itself is rangy, right? And she sang it down. Like the precision of her vocal was incredible to me. I was like, come on, key change. I think that key change came in with the chorus, and I was like, take it up. Come on, Jordan. Like it was so good. The instrumentation of this song and the arrangement of this song, for me, I felt like this round, it was one of the best arranged songs of this round, because you had a breakdown, you had the banjo solo, you had all in, you had a little bit like the band came back a little bit.
Jordan had complete command of the stage, like of like everyone that was like everything that was accompanying her, she had complete command of.
Absolutely. It felt like this is what I would see at a Jordan show. Like it felt so in the pocket for her.
She looked stadium, right?
She looked so comfortable. She looked like she was having fun. Like the fact that I literally go around my house. I feel no shame. It was awesome. That's awesome.
The one that got away this round for me.
It was awesome. Come on, Jordan. Yes, ma'am.
I love it.
Number 5.
All right. Well, then we'll flip flop to make things interesting. So I'll have you present your number 4.
My number 4 is Aದ್ದAN Adorn. And again, I could not stand that this was the song that was chosen for her in this round. I was mad. I was so mad because this is not a singy song. But in talking,
great song.
It's a great song, but it's not one that you would think, let's give this song to a really good singer and really good performer for a competition show.
Yeah.
It's just not. But in talking to Aದ್ದAN, in the interview that we did, go check that out on our channel.
Please.
She said that this was the song, or this was the performance that was her favorite and that she was most proud of, because she had to arrange this song and she had to figure out what she was going to do to show all of her vocal ability, because that the song in and of itself is just very kind of here. And the way that she was able to squeeze every bit of melody, every bit of interestingness, and the way that she was able to create was beautiful. Like listening to it back again, I'm like, oh, dynamics. Oh, different textures. Oh, falsetto. Oh, growl. Oh, performance, which is a given. Like Aದ್ದAN gon' perform. Like that's just a given. Aದ್ದAN gon' perform. But everything else that she was doing vocally actually made this song go from just kind of a nice, sweet song to like interesting. Like midway, I was like, okay, Aದ್ದAN, what you going to do now? Because it was clear that she was going to create in this song. And it was cool to see that part of her and to see how creative she was in presenting this song. So Aದ್ದAN is my number 4. Adorn. Miguel, go girl. Go girl.
I love it. Love it. All right. So my number 4 is Miss Roar. It's got to be Jacquie. Got to be Jacquie to change with Matt. All right. Now, I'm going to say this because we've talked about, Jacquie's been on many of our lists, and we've talked about Jacquie at length. So I'm going to say this. When you talk about the word consistency,
come on.
Sometimes consistency can be looked at as middle of the road.
Right.
Or run in the mill. Or forgotten.
Yes.
You know, when you give someone a compliment of consistent, they're consistent.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're the most talented. It means that that's what I'm saying. That's a negative connotation.
Exactly.
That can be related to the word consistent.
Exactly.
I personally hate when I've been cast over someone else and somebody is given a role because the director says, well, that's my go-to person, and they're consistent.
Right.
But are they the most talented?
Right.
Is the question that I always pose.
Yeah.
So when I give this compliment, it is not, I'm not giving it to Jacquie lightly, But this performance to me showed that Jacquie was the most consistent performer of the season.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm going to take it a step further. Jacquie, no one delivered a performance as consistent, as excellent from start to finish as Miss Jacquie Rohr.
Amen.
Okay? And so I said when I wanted to piggyback the consistency with Jacquie always delivered at the highest level of excellence.
Yep. Always.
And when I say consistent, Jacquie, because I know Jackie's a friend of the show, when I say consistent, I mean you're always going to get from Jacquie the beginning, middle, and end.
Yep.
And the end will always either knock you out your chair or put you back in your chair where you can't move.
Right.
And with the chain, and the fact that she took a Fleetwood Mac song, and here's the thing about Fleetwood Mac. The lead singer for a lot of Fleetwood Mac songs, they took turns on leads, but the known superstar lead singer of Fleetwood Mac is Stevie Nicks. So a lot of people that take a Fleetwood Mac song usually are very close to the stylistic sounds of a Stevie Nicks, who has a very, very distinct, particular type of voice.
That's right.
And we had singers this season who had a Stevie Nicks sounding, not Stevie Nicks imitation, but a Stevie Nicks sounding type of voice. Jacquie absolutely does not.
No.
So for her to take a song like The Chain and to jackify it,
come on,
the way she did. I said this before about Jacquie. I'm gonna say this again. Jacquie LaBelle. Look at me. I call her Jacquie LaBelle. Jacquie Rohr has that Patti LaBelle type of magnitude, that Patti LaBelle type of delivery, where any song this woman sings, you're going to instantly know within less than 5 seconds that it's Jacquie Rohr singing.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So she had to be on my list.
Absolutely.
I mean, Jacquie killed it. And she will continuously be on my list going forward because Jacquie didn't stop here, y'all.
No.
She didn't. Sang one of my favorite songs of all time. One of the most difficult rock songs in future rounds of all time to save herself. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, Jacquie Rohr, The Chain, loved it. Loved it.
I'm just marinating over that song. I'm sorry. Yeah. Your turn for number 3.
Okay. Number 3. It's not just song choice for me, but this song, and you're probably going to figure this out, but what I'm about to say, this song is so near and dear to my heart. But the way it was executed was bananas. So it's Taylor Deneen, Get Here, Oleta Adams. Originally sung by Brenda Russell. Taylor, like seriously, you rocked me. Like you just rocked me on this. To go back and listen to it again is to hear the brilliance of your voice, the brilliance of in previous rounds. Taylor was, minus her blind. Taylor was singing songs that were out of her, I wouldn't say her comfort zone, were songs that Taylor's specialty is she can just stand there and sing you down.
Right.
So for her to finally, in my opinion, get that ballad that I think she always should have sung and needed, but granted, the other previous rounds showed diversity in sound and in performance. This to me was so special. I thought that she respected the song so well, and I just thought it was a moment. It was a moment for me because of what this song means to me and how I was a little kid not little, but preteen, I think, when this song came out.
Right.
Like maybe 10, 11 when this song came out. And I just remember listening to it for hours. I was a very peculiar, intense child. But listening to it for hours, but Stephanie could probably figure that out. Listening to it for hours over and over again. That was a fantastic interpretation of it, because again, I am all for when a singer makes a song their own. And I thought Taylor Deneen just totally, it was her, and it was her in her element, and it was just glorious. Stephanie.
It was a beautiful performance. Didn't make my list.
So our lists are completely different.
They are completely different.
But
yeah, they are completely different.
What you got for 3? I'm interested.
My number 3, I almost thought that we had the same number 3 based on how you introed it, because I could intro my number 3 the exact same way. Like, this was a song of my youth that I played and sang over and over.
Then James knows. I'm shocked that this was not your number 2.
James knows exactly what it is. It is Cara Tenae, Rain, SWV. Oh my goodness. Cara Tenae. Child. There is no other voice besides Coco that I want to hear singing this song besides yours, because she has the perfect tone quality for, like, this is the song, right? And when we asked Cara in our interview with her, check it out on the channel, what her favorite performance was, she was like, Rain. Like, right. Of course. Of course.
Had to be.
From the minute she came in, it was like it was just like, yes. Yeah. I knew that she was going to give me everything that I wanted from this performance, and she did. Like, the thing that I noticed this time listening to it, that I know that I noticed before, but I took a special notice to, all lines were finished. Like, every line, there was no laziness at the end of any of the lines of this song. Like, they were all finished, and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. She made some slight melodic changes that were so appropriate and that made it her own. Her voice was so powerful, but not in an overbearing way. It was just full. Like, it was just a full sound that she was giving us, along with performance, and it's really hard to perform out a kind of a stand there and sing song, but she was giving us not all this movement, so it was distracting, but she was giving us movement, and it was so beautiful. Like, this is one of my favorite songs ever by one of my favorite groups ever, and she, oh my goodness, it was just such a moment for me, because she literally gave me everything that I wanted, and she sang the song down.
She did, and I might as well just continue to piggyback, because that was obviously my number 2.
All right.
And I felt like at this point in the competition with Cara Tenae, this is where I think she started to separate herself up. Separate herself as a front runner of the show.
Right.
And I can truly say that, was Cara on my radar before? I can be honest and say not as much as some of the other singers of this season. But from here on out, I couldn't, Cara like grabbed me by the shirt and like pulled me in and said, you're going to listen to me, and you're going to know that I'm one of the best singers on this show.
That's
and then from this point on, like, I was just like, she was the one I was anticipating hearing from. I was like, oh my gosh, what is she going to do next? No, she's not. Because she did the Brandy and the Brandy duet. And I just was like, okay, she's our 90s R&B, like, because that's mine and Stephanie's, as you all know, our favorite genre of music.
That's right.
She's our 90s R&B. And to me, I haven't heard any other female come on to this show and sing the genre that Stephanie and I most like, the way Cara has.
Absolutely.
It's because sometimes 90s R&B music is understated.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's understated and it's more about the melismas and the runs, and the vocal gymnastics of it all. But Cara Tenae is a star.
She is.
She's an undeniable star, and I felt like this supernova was was just lit.
Yeah.
And was then, barreling towards us.
Yeah.
And the star power of this young lady is undeniable. Like it's just fantastic. And from here on out, I just was like, I am an uber fan. It was delivered with skill, delivered with elegance.
Yes, so elegant.
And just Stephanie always will bring up the point of some of these performances are so ridiculous that you would think that the guest artist was coming to do a spot. And that to me was one of these performances for Cara Tenae. So yeah, it was just spectacular singing, spectacular song. She looked like a star.
Come on.
And it just grabbed me by and crinkled my good shirt, my dress shirt, like pulled me in, and I was like, "You got me, Cara Tenae, from here on out."
God,
it was nuts.
That's right.
Nuts.
That's right.
All right, you're number 2, Stephanie. Oh, okay. Let me think.
I was going to say you might be able to guess.
I would say Jacquie.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I would say Jacquie. I was like, you gotta have Jacquie in your top 5. That chain, the chain was bananas.
Listen, let me tell you about the chain. And it's so funny. It's so funny that you talk about grabbing people by the collar, because that's what Jacquie did in this song. She sang that chorus once. And then there was a moment where she turned around and looked at the band. And I said, uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh. This is
snappage.
Come on. This is where the snappage happened, right? And oh my goodness. The thing about snappage is that there is a freedom to the vocal and the physical when you get snappage, but it's not out of control, right? It's she about to give it to us, number 1. What creative things is she going to do? Number 2, like, because there's like a freedom and an artistry and a skill to the snappage, where we know everything that's going to come out of her mouth, or anybody that's snapping. We know anything that's going to come out of their mouth is going to be unlike the original, but it's going to be brilliant.
Correct.
And that's exactly what Jacquie did. And she had us, her vocal had us by the collar.
It did.
And she had us almost in a chokehold, to the point where, like, at the end, she gets real quiet. And it's almost like somebody told her, Jacquie, let him go, Jacquie, let him go. It's done. Let him go, Jacquie. And she was like, like she was just like letting go slowly, exactly. This woman
still looking
you dead in the There was a point where it was the love will keep us together part.
Oh yeah.
Where she walked it up and she ran it down. And that's when I started throwing stuff like, ma'am, this ain't even fair. Like, you can't be singing in front of these coaches like this. Like, this is disrespectful. This is disrespectful. Like, this is disrespectful that you are singing in front of these 4 talented, incredible artists this way, because legends. Because I don't know that any one of them could do that. Like, not one of them could do it. I'm like, you are being so disrespectful right now, Jacquie. Keep it coming, child. Keep it coming. It was incredible. It was incredible because she had the beginning, middle, and end. she had the complete and utter snappage, and then she just kind of released at the end, and I was just like, I cannot believe you just did that. It was astounding. It was such an incredible performance. Go ahead, girl.
It was nuts.
It was nuts.
Bananas.
It's bananas.
Bananas. All right, so our number one, I don't even have to guess.
Said our number one. You just know. That's what I said.
Our number one, obviously, is Stephanie.
It is Mac Royals-Untitled. How does it feel? That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
That's what it is. So we told this story before, but Stephanie and I, in the week prior, when they showed the millisecond of the preview of the playoffs for the next week, because I think Mac was in the second half of the playoffs.
Yes.
He was the last performance, I believe, or one of the last.
He might have been, but he was definitely on like the Tuesday night
one
performance.
Of the last ones. I forget who was the last one. Jacquie may have been the last one. I don't know. Stephanie and I, not that we were arguing, but we were just trying to figure out. Like I said, Stephanie, I think this is it. And you were like, Stephanie was like, I don't know, James. I don't remember that part of that song. And I said, Stephanie, I know, I heard it. Let me just tell y'all something. And unless you, have Hulu or YouTube TV or whatever, or do they still have, what was that? What was that thing that used to record the TV? TiVo! Unless you have TiVo or something. And recorded the entire episode. Let me tell y'all, because this is something that I think we briefly mentioned before when we talked about this song. But to me, the secret was in the sauce. Like, to me, what I kept going back to more than the performance was the rehearsal, the little, probably 1 minute B story, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Of he and John's collaboration.
That's right. That's right.
I've never seen John more giddy.
That's right.
Like, I've never seen John Legend, like, who was usually, mild mannered, cool as a cucumber. Mm-hmm. Like, he just was like, I've never seen him more giddy. I've never seen John. The thing that Mac Royals did, I've never seen John holler like that before. Like, when he was saying, hey, maybe you want to try it like this. Yeah. John, like, I was like, John Legend. You're John Legend.
Right.
But, bruh, he's like, listen. Like that.
D'Angelo will bring that out of you.
Yeah, exactly. But there was a holler that you could only hear in the background. I said, Stephanie, rewind it, put your good ears in, and listen. Mac does something. He does something. He does this holler.
Yeah.
Like it's like a primal, like deacon on a Sunday, sweating past the Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized.
That's right. It's like that James Brown, like
feel good, perfect person to relate it to. He does this scream that he did not do in the actual performance because it would have been too much.
That's right.
This is a family show.
That's right.
It would have been too doggone much.
That's right.
If he would have done it, because this song already is about making love. Point blank period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's about making love. Okay, that's right. It's about sex. And we've talked about it at length, so we're not going to go into it. So I was like, I have to find new things to talk about. That's why I was like, I went to the freaking, because that was actually my favorite part, that collaboration. But the thing that made Mac so scary, and we saw it from the start with Mac, the thing that made him so scary was those little nuanced things that he would do with his voice. Mac was a type of, if you're talking about a dirty knife fight, Mac was the type of person that had a very small knife that you didn't really see it. You didn't like, it wasn't like a machete. It wasn't like a butcher knife. It was a very small knife, but it was extremely sharp. And it was like he would stab you like, next thing you're doing, you're dead, because there's like 20 stabs. Because his voice was, he did these little nuanced things in his voice. Like,
that's right.
I call it the reverse Luther Vandross.
That's right.
Where Luther would go, Mac would go, like that's what he would do, and it would just slay you. It would just take you out. And then to do stuff on a D'Angelo record, which was probably D'Angelo's biggest song of all time.
Right.
To do stuff on a D'Angelo record that D'Angelo didn't even do.
That's right.
I got no more words because I've already talked about this. You got to go back and watch the original episode, because Stephanie and I probably spent too long talking about this performance. But it was, I can say this, and the rest of y'all contestants might be mad, it was the greatest performance of the season, in my opinion. Sorry.
I can't argue. I don't know that I can argue. Well, I might be able to argue. Once we get to our lives, I might be able to argue. I might be.
No, I can't.
I'll remember. I'll because I know the song that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
So that will remind me. It would be close, and they're very different. We've been talking about this song since season 1, when we wanted Bryce Leatherwood to sing the country version of this song, because we were fascinated by having country artists sing R&B songs. Once we heard Bryce do the Whitney, Saving All My Love. So then we just became obsessed with like country singers singing R&B songs, and this was one of the ones that we wanted Bryce to do. For as much as we anticipated this song, and in what James said at the beginning, us kind of going back and forth before the song was actually presented, just getting that little snippet, not knowing. The thing for me was, I wanted it so bad.
Yeah, you did.
That I didn't want to be disappointed.
I want to be disappointed.
I want to be disappointed.
Like, no, I can't.
I said, I can't.
You said I can't commit.
I can't commit. I need some kind of off ramp just in case it's not it, because I would be so disappointed if this is not it. And not only was I not disappointed because he sang it, I was not disappointed by the performance at all. It lived up to any and every expectation that I had. So one of my favorite parts is almost like you, James. It doesn't have to do with the actual performance per se, but it was before he sang a note. They came in to the performance with about half of the original instrumentation, and that man had his mic stand
up in the air.
And right before he was to sing, he put it down. I said, you know what? You couldn't just stand there with your mic stand. You had to glide it down. I said, this is really how we're starting. And then just like you said, James, he did the and it was so good. It was so good that Gwen Stefani looked over at somebody and said, wow. Wow. That's when I fell off the couch. Yeah. But I had to quickly get myself back on the couch, because that was the episode that I was recording with my husband. So my husband was sitting on the couch next to me. And so I had to keep it together a bit. But inside, I'm just like, oh my gosh. It was one of those take your time, sir songs. Yeah, he took his time. He gave us so much of his vocal. Like we got falsetto, we got melodic change. Like, and the melodic changes that he made were so wonderful and so appropriate. And we even got the woo! Like we even got the woo! We didn't get a but we got the woo! And I was like, yes! Woo!
I thought the band was gonna come off the
Oh,
stage.
listen, the band. That was my next point. It was almost as if it felt like they wanted to do this song for so long, just as much as we wanted to hear the song.
I think they wanted to do the entire song.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
They were cuts. It had to be. But I think they wanted 2 verses.
Yeah, I think that they might have been mad that Matt didn't get to do this in lives because they would have been able to get more of the song in. But
or he didn't get to do. He didn't get to do.
No.
That'd been R-rated.
R-rated.
Been too much.
Yes.
Yeah, he did the PG-13 version.
He did the PG-13 version. Yes. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And like James said, I can only think of one song or one performance that might have been better, but they're so polar opposite in category that you could have like 1A, 1B. And we have not talked about that song yet. That song comes in the lives, but oh man.
And if it's a song that I'm thinking of, it's a very close second. But yeah, that one for me. Are me and Stephanie a little biased because it's our favorite genre of music? Yes. But you know what? Let me tell you something. If it was not sung the way it was sung, Stephanie and I would have talked pitchy. We've been extremely pitchy.
It would have been hard to talk about.
In our discussion.
It would have been hard to talk about.
Because we've been waiting in anticipation for this song. And if it was not good, I'd have been, I don't know about Stephanie. Stephanie's nicer than me. I'd have been pitchy. I'd have been extremely pitchy, being like, nah, that wasn't it, bro. That wasn't it.
I just might have kept my mouth shut and said, if y'all want to hear my true feelings, we will open up the Patreon.
We don't have a Patreon.
We don't have one, but we would open one up. And you could pay us $2.50 to hear our...
I'd have been like, nah, sir, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. That wasn't hitting.
Right.
That wasn't busting, as the young kids
say. That wasn't busting.
Nope. Wasn't it? Oh. Woo. Mac Royals, sir. That was beyond disrespectful.
Woo.
That was like, the kids gotta go to bed.
Right.
That's what that was. It's time for the kids to go to bed because it's time for some grown and sexy. That's what it was. I'm trying to be as PG as possible.
I know you are.
It's true.
But the more you keep talking, it slips into...
All right, y'all. Well, thank you again for another wonderful episode. Stephanie, that was so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun because with the exception of number one, our choices were different.
Yeah, our order.
Jacquie was the same.
Yes. I love it too.
I love it. Yes. All right. So just to let you all know, give you all a heads up, the next time that we see you for our best ofs, we are going to do the best of all the lives.
All the lives.
All of them.
All the lives.
From starting lives to the winner is Mr. Huntley.
Right.
And everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
So we still got some pretty amazing things coming down the pike. So please stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to be as poker face as possible. But we got some great things coming down, y'all. We really do. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. Mm-hmm. Stephanie, tell them what they need to hear, my friend.
All right. So don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. Also, check us out on YouTube. Search for The Pitchy Podcast and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. And last, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at The Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more.
All right. So we'll see you all real soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.